People, DG, I'm back again, man. Yeah, we obviously lost to Palace 3 goals to 2. Congratulations to Crystal Palace. We know what went wrong in regards to us, Arsenal. For me personally, we can sit here and say a lot, but I personally feel fundamentally beyond the pivot not doing their jobs today, defensively being naive, a lack of movement, ultimately a very stale and dull first half from us. And I feel where we lost is today. If you look at the 3 goals, 3 cheap goals conceded. We know we've made great improvements defensively in several areas, but we need to come a long way. I feel you look at the second goal, Mustafi should do a lot better. And again, I was live at the game, so I can't replay it and see everything, but I'm not going to be harsh on Mustafi. For that ball to go over the top, there's several other actions. So the players, when I watch the game again, I can speak about it. But the players that could have done better in certain incidences can't get away with it. So I thought the second goal was probably the most appalling for me. The first annoyed me because Mavropanos, he's a young man, he's naive. They're the sort of challenges I tell you he's going to make in key areas because he's still a freshie in terms of football in a top league. He hasn't played that many times. He's going to keep making these mistakes. But it's good to see how he can see how much you can pay for these sort of mistakes sort of thing, people. So I feel you look at that, he gave away a foul from that set piece. We didn't defend well from that set piece at all. Coincidentally, we've improved both scoring from set pieces and defending set pieces this season. We went back into last season's old form with our set pieces because there was a free kick dead ball situation, MacArthur scored, and there was a ball over the top. For a team that wants to get into the top 4, there were 3 very cheap goals. Yes, it was good for us to get 2 goals with Ozil and Aubameyang respectively, but how you start the game really said it all. The changes didn't help us, and we did play like a team that's made 5 or 6 changes, however we made. But it is what it is. In regards to the player ratings, though, I'm going to give Leno a 6. Now, I'm going to give Leno a 6, which would be a 5, but I'm going to give him an extra point for the 2 saves he made. There was a good incident where he made 2 big saves to save us, but in the build-up to them 2 saves, I'm sure he also the ball slipped out of his hands, or he fumbled an effort. I'm so sure 100% he did. So I think he was alright today. I feel his distribution with the ball wasn't quite there today, but whose was really and truly. So he gets a 6. Mustafi gets a 4 from me. Now, I think Mustafi was actually playing alright until the second half. I was surprised. I was like, wow, Mustafi sweeping up defensively, playing two decent passes. But he let himself down, man. From what I hear, again, I have to watch the goal again. I feel we were all poor from the third goal, the set piece with MacArthur, the corner. But I hear that was Mustafi's man from people around the ground. Obviously, the second goal, he has to hold his hands up. And what annoys me about Mustafi is he blames other people. Like, I like that he's vocal, but why are you swinging your arms and doing all these things when it's clearly your mistake? So he gets a 4, even possibly a 3, to be fair with you. Koscielny gets a 5. Yeah, 5 is a decent result. I feel we conceded 3 goals, so no one was perfect. But I feel Koscielny did what he could in it. Second half, he got a bit pantomime-ish. He was coming out of position as we was trying to chase the game. But a 5 is cool. I feel Kohler gets a 4 today, people. Do you know? I don't feel it was as bad as Mustafi, but I feel Kohler, he was getting in good positions, but his final ball just weren't there. It was just under hit, over hit. I just feel it wasn't quite there from him today. So he gets a 4. Jenkinson gets a 3 from me, to be fair with you. In fact, no, he gets a 4, man. Let me not... Because if he gets a 3, then Mustafi has to get... Do you know what? Mustafi gets a 3, Jenkinson gets a 3. I don't feel Jenkinson was that bad. I just feel... You know, with Jenkinson, he's not the best going forward. And I feel he killed us a lot. He killed a lot of offensive play we potentially could have had. First touch, man. At times, he's getting stuck under his feet. It's going off out of play. He's walking into players. People are getting past him quite easily as well. Yeah, man, there was one lovely incident. The first time I saw it, and then they played the ball forward for once in the game. It was a lovely crossfield pass. The first touch has to be better. And again, he's got a better first touch than me, but you're a professional footballer, man. Like, it should be better. I feel he was quite poor today, and it was clear to see why he got subbed. So Mustafi gets a 3. I've changed it. Jenkinson gets a 3. El Nene gets a 3 as well. I don't see what El Nene did right today, to be fair with you. Now, I don't like to scapegoat players, but it's clear to see Unai doesn't rate El Nene per se because he barely plays and he's been thrown in recently and he's getting games, and I don't see what he offers. He's not a defensive mid that some people have him down to be. He'll try and work hard and he'll try and recycle the ball, but it's just backwards, and he takes too long to make these decisions. I feel it's too easy to get past him as well. I just feel he was poor today, man. El Nene gets a 3. Guendouzi gets a 5. Not the best of games, but I thought he kept trying. He kept playing good passes. He kept dribbling. Yes, he was naive at times, and he kept losing the ball in dumb areas as well. And as we get older, or as he gets older and plays more games, it becomes less and less of an excuse. We could use this as an excuse in August and September when he was just playing. We're now in May. I don't expect him to be the finished article, but you are a professional footballer. You should know what I keep doing right and wrong. And I don't want Guendouzi to change for anyone, but at times just be less naive with a football. When to pass it, when not to. More importantly, making the correct decisions all of the time, because that's what all the best midfielders historically and into current day. Why is Rakitic, in my opinion, one of the best in the world? Because 9 times out of 10, right decisions. Why is Xavi, Pirlo, Iniesta, many examples, why were they the best in their fields? Because they made make the right decisions continuously. If Guendouzi wants to get anywhere near them or to improve, he's going to have to find balance. And you lot know I love Guendouzi. I'll always fight for Guendouzi, so he gets a 5. I feel Ozil gets a 7. I think he scored. He worked hard. I think he worked his arse off today. I think he tried to find passes. You could see him visually getting frustrated when there was a lack of movement. I feel Ozil's one guy you can't critique his performance today, and it's backed up because I never came off the field. So he gets a 7. For Lacazette, people, I'm torn between a 6.5 and a 7, people, purely because I feel, do you know what, I'll probably give him a second. He was involved in, he got 2 assists, he worked his socks off. But I just feel at times, it weren't quite the Lacazette we've seen. I feel he played quite well, and he was one of the only ones on it from the start, to be fair. And he was one of the better Arsenal players on the pitch, without a doubt. But I just feel he was a bit rusty at times. He weren't quite with the same precision that Lacazette has on his day. So I'm going to give him a 7 because there's not too many good performers. Him and Ozil can get 7s. I'll give Aubameyang a 5, man. Now, I wasn't impressed with Aubameyang. I was specifically watching him. You lot know I'm a big fan of Aubameyang. I'm ready to back him and all of these. He's a terrific player. I mean, he scored today. But I just feel, I don't know if the team understand him or what he does, because I wanted him to stay central a bit more. And when I was looking at his runs, I was thinking, stay on the last shoulder like you normally do. He was coming deep unnecessarily. He looked like he was having some confident issues. He was getting the ball in dumb areas that if you're Crystal Palace, you'd prefer. Ridiculous areas out wide, near the corner flag, too deep in our midfield. Just areas you're not going to threaten anyone. His goal, I must admit, he gave me humble pie, because when he picked up the ball, I was like, Aubameyang, what are you going to do with it here? He cut in, obviously, linked up, and he scored. But other than that, I feel he was quite... People, deluded. Now, to add more misery to my pain of Arsenal losing, the video I wanted to cut out full storage and that. We've now fixed it. But where was I? I was actually talking about Aubameyang in regards to his performance. I feel he scored. He worked well. The work rate and application was there. I just feel the movement wasn't quite there. And I just feel he was quite poor. And I don't feel we played to his strengths or helped him or tried to find him. But I think he was anonymous. I don't feel we necessarily tried to find Lacazette. But Lacazette had a better game. Obviously, they have two different skill sets, and Aubameyang's more tailored to a game being more open and things, and Lacazette's more technically gifted, so he's able to play in games like this. But how we judge who's the better footballer, I'll never know, because at their worst, Lacazette is better for me, or Aubameyang's not involved. But like you saw at their worst, Aubameyang scored a goal. Lacazette's got 2 assists. One's got on borderline to get 20 league goals minimum. One's got 16 goals in all competitions. So how do you quantify which one is the better striker? Clearly, we need both of them. I think I've already spoken about Mavropanos. He's got a lot to learn, and I think he was alright today. Has to hold his hands up for some of his naive defending and naive defensive actions, like obviously conceding a penalty, conceding a free kick in a dangerous area, which led to our first. So I've given him a 5. Not sure with the video cutting out as to where you guys are at. So let's recap. I gave Leno obviously a 6, I think. I'm going to change that to a 5. I think a 5 is perfect. Mustafi a 3, Koscielny a 5, Kolo a 4, Chenkerson a 3, El Nene a 3, Guendouzi a 5, Lacazette a 7, Ozil a 7, Aubameyang and Mavropanos respectively have 5s, people. I think that's the rest of the lineup. To be fair with you, I don't feel I'm missing anyone else out. I'm missing anyone, and if I am, they played anonymously. I'm going to give Iwobi a 7 purely because he added something that was missing on the pitch. I feel he was possibly the best player nowadays. Now that I think about it, I actually feel Guendouzi played alright. I know he made the mistakes and he was naive with the ball, but I think him, Ozil, and Lacazette in the first half, when things weren't going right, they were the only three really trying to make something happen, man. But I feel Iwobi added something that was lacking on the left-hand side. Yes, he should have scored at the end of the game, but I feel he played like someone who wanted to get us back in the game, someone that played with a bit of hunger, whether that's to get us back in the game or to show them, Ray, listen, I've been decent this season under you. Why are you now dropping me? Reinstate me back into the team, sort of thing. He played like that. And he became more of a threat, and together with just us changing our approach in the second half, he was central to everything and was involved, man, and the application was there. I'll give Maitland-Niles a 7. He added what Jenkinson didn't by simply just having to go down that hand side and trying to beat his man and putting balls into the box and things like that. And I think he did well at that. So Iwobi and Maitland-Niles is going to get a 7. Going to give Torreira a 6 purely because he came onto the field and just kept things simple. Something that both the men in the midfield were failing to do, to be fair with you. All in all, we just weren't at it. There's nothing else to say. We can't make excuses. We can't make cop-outs. We just weren't at it. We have to hold our hands up. So in regards to the player ratings, I've said my piece, people. I've got nothing more to say, so I'm going to get out of here. People, deluded. Comment, subscribe, and do the rest if you wish.